What does it really take to build a business that honors your brilliance and peace? Behind every breakthrough is a decision to lead differently. You're about to meet the women who made that decision and changed everything. Welcome to the Luxe CEO Evolution. Hey everyone, it's Shayla Boyd-Gill, the Luxe Your Business Mentor, and I'm excited because you know what time it is. It's time for another Luxe CEO interview, and I have a Luxe Queen that I truly adore that has really stuck with our community, and she's been able to bring so much value to us. So I would love to introduce you all to Kreda
Hey,
McCullough.
hey, hey, y'all. No, you about to make me cry. And I'm like, what? All of that? It's
Right,
too
right. We're just
early.
starting. We're just starting.
Too early for that. Thank you,
So,
Shayla.
Credit, I know you were introduced to the community through unexpectedly through a mutual friend and through an organization.
Yes.
Um, I'm curious to know, like, what was the business model that you had when we first connected? Where was your business?
When we first connected, my business was in a place of let's see, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna say scattered. I'm gonna call it scattered. It was during the pandemic, and I had lost my little church contracts because I was a graphic designer at the time, right? And churches weren't they weren't having events anymore. So all of that got shut down. And I saw your name. I'd seen you before. I'd seen you do like a live, I think, and I was like, 6 kids? What? How's she doing this with 6 kids? So that's how you got on my radar, and through through the organization. Then I saw an email that I thought was from the organization, but it wasn't, and I was like, "What?" I was like, They want to talk to people making 50K." I was like, "I'm not making 50K." I was like, "Let me get in here and see what's happening." So I signed up for it. Didn't see, I think I saw one person from the organization and was like, "Well, I thought this was this organization." And it wasn't, but you were speaking my language, you were speaking what I needed. And then I moved on to the next step, and then the next step, and then Lux Queen.
Lux Queen. Well, that's really interesting. Yeah, it was one of those mysterious meetups that happened perfectly, and I'm glad, however it happened, that we were able to connect. But I'm curious to know, even though you said, when you first started, maybe it was 50K or less, what did success feel like for you then? Like if you were doing these designs for the churches, how were you defining success then?
I wasn't.
Uh,
I didn't feel successful. I felt like a worker bee. I felt like I feel like I was more self-employed
mm,
than being a CEO. Yeah, I felt like, yeah, I was just doing what people wanted me to do, and not they weren't even listening to the suggestions that I was giving, because I'm the one that got the degree,
right.
but they weren't listening. So yeah, I felt like I was still in a corporate situation, just at home.
Oh, that's big. That's big.
Hmm.
So I can only imagine during a pandemic when the clients that you did have, your major clients that you did have, suddenly something said poof. You're like, where are the clients? Things had to change pretty rapidly. So what, if any, hesitation did you have when you made the first investment with the luxury business community? Because we did start off, we kind of stair stepped.
Yeah.
So did you have any initial hesitations before investing or anything that
No,
made you say, is this for me?
well, the with the initial masterclass, I felt like, what do I have to lose? Like, I'm not even making 50K. What? Like, dang, not even doing that. So I was like, okay, do this. And then, when you were talking about your framework, I was like, ooh, I need a framework, because I
I
need to
love
get
it.
out of this design stuff and figure this out. I went to school. I know how to do brand math. I know how to do all of this stuff. So I just need a framework. So, and you was talking it, framework.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I moved to the next step, and that's exactly what you gave me.
Love it.
And
Love it.
it's
You
so
got it.
crazy because every single time um I do something, I'm not gonna call it different, but every time I have an idea, I'm always like, is it in my framework?
It's stuck in your head. You're like, what did
Yes,
Shayla say? Okay. Is
yes,
it in
all
the
from
framework?
all of those years ago.
Yeah.
It's always in my head. Yep.
Wow. So I know you were initially in, I think we had a group workshop, and
Mhm,
then you moved to a pre-inner circle group that you worked with. And then you
mhm,
decided to commit to the inner circle.
mhm.
When I invited you to an opportunity to commit to the inner circle, did you have any hesitations then? Did you say, "Oh snap, is this really for me?" Like, what were your thoughts?
Um, I didn't. I was excited.
I like
I
a woman like you.
I was excited. I felt so in other, let me just be honest. In other groups that I've been in previously, I never felt like I belonged.
Mm,
Um, when I did get the invitation to be in the inner circle, I had met a few of the women already, and I was like, "Oh, they cool. Like, this me."
yeah.
So I was just really excited. I felt like I was about to be a part of this sisterhood, which I'm still a part of this sisterhood. Like, I have made some real friends, like
Yeah.
real friends in the inner circle. So yeah, it was no, I had no hesitations. I'm the I'm the type of person that, when I want to do something, I'm going to do it. And even though I had to have the conversation with my husband, I was still like in my credit head, like in real life, it don't matter what you say, I'm gonna do it anyway, but I'm still gonna talk to you first. But I just know
I love it.
it ain't all the way cool, but it is. That's how I felt. And I was gonna make it work one way or another,
I
honestly.
love that. And that's a perfect transition. So you joined the inner circle, and let's talk about some of the shifts that happened once you joined, because I knew I invited you into the inner circle because you were a fast implementer. So very much like me, you're like, tell me what to do and I'm going to get it done. So was there a moment, a conversation, or a lesson that had a lasting impact on you?
Just one? Um,
pick pick one or two.
no, it was a few lessons, and one of them was really around my mindset. Um Coming from being a graphic designer, coming
Mhm.
from charging $50 for work when Adobe itself is $59.99. Yeah, it was a whole mindset shift of, not just that I deserve, you know, to lux my business, if you will. It was, more of you doing the work. Like, get paid for your time, ma'am. Get paid for your energy.
The
And
energy part. Yeah.
yeah, get paid for your energy, because the $50 people are the ones that want to fuss with you about 3 revisions.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely, I think that was the big part, was the mindset shift.
Okay. So with that mindset shift, what was the big decision that you made in your business? That actual shift or pivot that you made, because you came to me and you said, "I'm a graphic designer." But
Mhm.
what was that pivot or that shift that we kind of decided, "No, you're more than a graphic designer."
Yes. I am a brand strategist, brand designer. That's where brand with Kreda came from. Brand with Kreda came from you. And
Yeah.
it's still here. It's still popping. Yes, I'm Visionary Vibe Solutions, but I personally Kreda McCullough, professionally known as Brand with Kreda. So going from that graphic design, um, I'm not going to, you know what, position, because that's
Yeah.
exactly what it was. Graphic design positioning to being the brand strategist and the brand designer that I actually went to school for
Mhm.
was just like a really big shift for me. You know, I mean, I flipped the script. We got pictures, changed my messaging, was like, nope. Well, at first I was still taking some graphic design clients because I had to get my money up, right? But you know, all of that faded away. Everybody knows she's not your designer anymore,
Including me. I understand
including
that too.
you. I have
I
people
dropped
in
a tear for that one, but I understood.
my inbox like, Kreda, I know you don't do design anymore, but I'm like, okay, I appreciate the fact that you acknowledge that I don't do design anymore. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We're trying to honor. We're honoring the growth process. I was like, what happened?
And I'm still good at it. I still enjoy it, no doubt. But for me, in order for me to stay out of that and not continue to get that credit, can you do this? Credit, can you do this? I had to reposition myself and say, look, it's not happening no more.
That's a Luxe CEO move.
Exactly.
It's a move and I loved it and I was like, did I really teach this? This is crazy. Okay. What are we doing?
You get it.
But it allowed
Shayla.
because we need something that's scalable, right?
Right.
And
Right.
that wasn't scalable at the time.
Mhm.
So, now that you made your big pivot, you shifted, what's one of the things that you're most proud of?
Um, I sold a 10K package. I was scared as shit,
Yeah.
but I did it. I did it.
Mm. What did it take for you to be able to confidently quote that amount to someone inquiring about your strategic mind and the brand strategy?
Ooh, um, I came to a place to where I was like, just do it. I had been on like the verge of, and I don't know if you remember a couple calls that you and I had, and you was like, well, how much did you charge? And I was like, 75. How much did you charge? 6,000. I was like, you know what, Creta, just say it. Just say it. Just do it. And yeah, I still had to like, get my mind right to do it. But I'm again, I'm the type of person that I'm like, just if you're gonna do it, just do it. Quit being scared and just do it. So I just said it.
Powerful. So going from $50 gigs, we're going to call it what it was, $50 gigs where you felt like you didn't have control to 10K projects. That had to feel amazing. I was so proud of you when you told me that you stood in that place. And even with the pivots that you made, the pricing structure just made more sense.
Yes.
And I hope that you recognize that for yourself because it's so easy to get used to playing the hard game,
Mhm.
and the hard game is not necessary. What were your thoughts around like the number, like if looking at 5K, 6K, 7K projects, did you see the difference in the number of clients needed versus having very low ticket items? Like,
Oh,
did you see that difference?
absolutely. Having very low ticket was was I felt I was fighting for my life.
Mhm. Okay.
But the ease of the higher ticket, the ease of, me not feeling like I was in a desperate state to have to get this client to be I'm like, cool. Now I did what I needed to do for the month at the beginning of the month, and now I can, not be so worried about meeting my goals. So
Yeah. So how do you feel that you lead differently now? Now that you positioned yourself differently, you priced and packaged yourself differently, how do you lead differently?
from a more confident space. Um, I don't know if that's the right answer, but that's the first thing that just
That's
came to
your
me is that
answer.
I'm way more confident in putting myself out there, even more than when I changed up from being a graphic designer to, a brand designer, brand strategist. Like yeah, I'm way, and I saw the confidence growing, but now I'm at a like, excuse my language, I'm in a fuck it. Like, this is what it is. This is what it is. This is who I
Yeah.
am, and that's it. So,
I love that this is who I am because it's taking ownership. It's taking ownership of the true version of yourself. And what we say for the Lux CEO, she has to first be confident in this. She has to own this. She can't own anything outside of her until she owns this. And
yeah.
you've demonstrated that beautifully. Um, whatever happens around you is still owning this piece here. So, if you were to talk to a woman that was standing where you once were during the pandemic, what would you say to her now?
Ooh, we slapped me with that one. Um, what would I say to her? I would tell her to stop playing small, first of all. Um, I would tell her what she offers is valuable. I would some probably have to show her kind of like what you did, right? Show her that it's valuable and hmm, I don't know, just really, really be encouraging because I feel like that's who my person is now.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
that is more is close to is related to my why. Because I didn't have the guidance. I had guidance, but I didn't have, the right guidance. I had the guidance of go do this, park the car here, do this, and if you don't, then that's it. But I would be a little more patient, listen to what she's saying, and then proceed with the guidance in a way that relates to her, that's in alignment with her. I wouldn't just
Yeah,
go out and tell her what to do.
I love that. Um, One thing we didn't speak about is with you repackaging and reclaiming who you were, it also brought you opportunities to speak on stages and speak in front of different audiences. Tell me a little bit about that. How I don't know if you were doing that prior to us working together.
I absolutely was not doing that. I was hiding in my office doing designs, is what I was doing. And yeah, not even get a lot of it, wasn't I wasn't even getting credited for. So
Yeah. So how did it feel to really take your voice and your strategy to the stage?
it was scary at first. It was scary because I'm like, um, they don't want to hear this. They don't want to hear this. They didn't heard this 50 million times. And who am I to try to tell these people what to do? And but if they talk to me one on one, I could really get it, that type of thing. But it was scary at first. Um, but now, today, May 21st, 2025, 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I am I can shout to the masses, to the mountains about what I do and how it helps, and like really just put my value out there, my unique value, because even though somebody else is doing what I'm doing, they're not doing it like Kreda.
Not at all. Not at all. I saw the speaking birth from you,
You
and I'm
did.
like,
You did. And I was
she
like,
needs to do this more. I'm like,
no,
she may not believe it, but I see it, and you said
I
yes.
did. I did. I did. I did. Because you believed in me. And that's another reason that I enjoyed the Lux CEO, the inner circle. Well, I am a
Yeah.
Lux CEO, the inner
Yes, you are.
circle, because
Yes.
we all are like rooting for each other and
Hmm.
encouraging one another. Like, if I'm being honest, I go back and look at. It took me a long time to go back and look at my time on your stage. I was scared to look at it.
Hmm.
But I did, and I was even like, because we're really critical of ourselves. I was like,
Yes.
ugh, ain't nobody tell me I didn't do this and do that. But because I feel like everybody was just so happy, if you will, that I was even doing it, that I, opened up and just put myself out there like that. But yeah,
Yeah. You're absolutely right. We are more critical of ourselves than the world is critical of us. And even in our flaws, we can show up and still transform a room. We can make an impact. And most people have no idea what we didn't do right.
right,
They have no idea unless you're calling it out as you're not doing it right.
right.
But they don't know. So I'm just excited that you decided to say yes and you went with something that wasn't familiar. It wasn't comfortable. Like we didn't sit in comfort. And I
Cool.
can really respect you for that because you chose to walk a different path.
I was trying to get out of it. I remember
I
through
know
our calls, you were like, "Well, what about the speaking? Did you?" And I'm like, well, no, because because what? Like,
because what?
right? Oh no, I just don't want. No.
So, this is a question I'm asking every woman um, when I speak to them. If you can describe your Lux evolution in one sentence, what would it be?
One sentence.
One sentence. Describe your Lux evolution.
Jeez, that'll shut her up, won't it? From hmm, from doer to strategic thinker.
That's perfect.
Okay.
That's perfect. And this is why I don't ask these questions in advance because I really want to see what comes up. What's your
That's
what's your gut instinct? What's the first thing that comes up? And that perfectly describes what we see in you.
wow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shayla. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Every evolution starts with a decision. When clarity meets confidence, the real business begins. Your Lux CEO journey is just getting started.